Sorry for the strange light and possibly my voice because I don't have my microphone. I'm on day 3 of my low residue diet, and that has been a strange one, I've got to say. So for this morning I'm having some Diet Fuel protein shake. I do have this occasionally because it's so easy for me when I'm going out to work, and that can sustain me for until I get home or until I finish work at 12:30, and then I can either go for lunch if I have to go on to my other work, or if I'm coming home I can get some lunch. So that suits me from time to time, and on this diet that's what I'm having. I'm also having cream of tomato soup because I love this anyway, and you can have the cream of, you can't have any vegetables, like any soup with vegetables in, like bits. You've got to strain the bits out, so I can't be done with that, so I'll just have the tomato soup because I love it anyway. And I've also been eating white bread. I've been eating sourdough bread, sourdough white bread, and just toasting them and then chopping them up into croutons and putting them in the soup. And last night I boiled some rice, thinking I would just have some rice with maybe some curry powder in with some tofu. And I'd made sweet rice, like rice pudding, which I ate anyway, or I was in the process of eating. I've still got some in the fridge. And I just put some skinny maple syrup in. So anything low calorie, basically it's all boring food. So it's white food, white pasta, white rice, white potato, mashed potato without the skins, anything that is low, like no fibre kind of thing. So this is my 3rd day, and I'm just going to make this while I'm talking. This is my 3rd day on it. It was Monday, Tuesday, and today is Wednesday, and it's been okay. It's just I'm not allowed to have the foods that I normally eat, which is fruit and vegetables. You know, I'm not craving sweet things or anything like that. I'm looking at vegetables and just like really wanting them. In terms of bowel movements, you've got to drink loads and loads of water, and you can have apple juice and grape juice. You can have fruit juice as long as there's no bits in. You can't have smoothies or anything like that. Well, I don't drink anything else apart from water really, but I did get some of this. Some of this apple juice, which is quite nice when you're not having any fruit and veg. So that's okay. And grape juice you can have. I think you can have all fruit juice so long as there's no bits in. So it's pretty boring. And the weather is horrid here in the UK. It's just rain, which I hate the rain. I hate everything being damp and muddy. It just makes life so much harder. So what I'm doing tomorrow is I eat nothing after 9 a.m. so I can have a no fibre breakfast before 9 a.m. and then after 9 a.m. absolutely nothing apart from the fluids, so the water, the grape juice, nothing sort of black currant or anything like that. I don't like stuff like that anyway, so it's quite easy in terms of that for me. I know I'm going to be some kind of like raging monster because I can't do without food. So that is going to be really bad. And I have been looking at YouTube videos for the procedure of a colonoscopy and reading the comments more than anything, because I know what the procedure is. It's the comments of like real life people that I like to read, and it's a mixed bag. Some people are saying it's the worst thing they've ever had to do. Some people are saying it's really, really painful, because I'm hoping that I don't have any sedative, because here in the UK you don't get knocked out, you're given a sedation, so you're still awake and everything, but apparently it just relaxes you enough so that you're not kind of like uptight. But there's risks that come with the sedation, and also afterwards it says you've got to sort of be in the recovery room for I think it said up to 3 hours. I don't want to do that. I just want to come straight home. So, and also if you, there's, I mean, I don't, this is not gospel. This is just sort of what I've like put together from things that I've heard and read, that if you are sedated, there's more of a risk of the telescope sort of perforating your bowel because you're so relaxed. Whereas if you're not relaxed, you can actually sort of feel it more, obviously, and you're able to kind of tell the colonoscopist, that it hurts. So there is that as well. I'm really hoping that I don't get sedated, but I'm going to see how I feel. I might be really, really nervous once I get there and just say, yeah, give me it all. But that's the plan, not to. So today I'm at work this morning. I've cut down my hours for this week. So I'm just at work on the morning, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And tomorrow I'm completely off. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm thinking that I might have a little sleep through the afternoon because I start the laxatives, the bowel prep at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And it's supposed to start within 3 hours. I'm hoping it starts before then, actually. And it can go on. I mean, it's sort of mixed. On the leaflet, it says you can be going to the toilet all through the night. When I've kind of looked online, some people say it's just for a couple of hours until like everything's like water just coming out. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm going to set myself up in the spare room just so I don't disturb Nick getting up and down to go to the toilet. So I'm going to be in the spare room and I'm going to set up a little reading station in the bathroom. So put some reading glasses, and just have some books there, and I'll have my phone so I can look at things. Yeah, because I think it's that's going to be, to me, that's going to be the worst. And people have advised getting some Vaseline, petroleum jelly to put round your bum hole because it's going to be really sore. Not to use toilet paper. If only we had that bidet. I've wanted a bidet for years, and that would be ideal in this situation. But alas, we do not have a bidet. We just have a normal toilet and a shower. So I guess it's just a case of, I might get some baby wipes, the ones that are practically all water. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm just sort of prepping for everything. So the backstory is why I'm going for the colonoscopy is because on December the 1st, I had no symptoms at all, but on December the 1st, I went to the toilet for a number 2, and there was lots of blood in the toilet. Of course, I was alarmed, and this carried on for, I think, 4 days. Every time I went to the toilet, I'm a regular person. I go every morning, once a day, and every time I was going to the toilet for a number 2, there was what looked a considerable amount of blood. The bowl, the water was bright red, and I know it sounds grim, but I started picking up the poo out of the toilet bowl and examining it, and there was bits of blood inside the poo as well. So I documented it. I took pictures all the way through. It's called, what is the album called in my phone? It's something like Bleeding Poo or something. So I've documented every bit. Became a little bit obsessed actually with it, because obviously that's the indicator of health, isn't it? I've always sort of been like that since I've had, because I have had eating disorders in the past. So I just became a little bit obsessed with my gut function once I became well. So I've been documenting it all the way through. Very, very grim, but needs must. So this happened, I think this was about 4 days, and I phoned up the surgery because I think at first it was just kind of like, have I got hemorrhoids? Because I've also suffered with those in the past, although not for years. But I couldn't feel anything. But they can be up inside, can't they? So anyway, it was quite alarming. It was like a horror show every morning that I went to the toilet. So I did phoned up the surgery and spoke to the nurse practitioner, who was absolutely amazing. She's been fantastic. So she called me in and examined me, like finger up the bum, and she said she couldn't feel anything. I showed her my pictures, and she said that it does look like quite a lot of blood, although it always looks more. If like, women having periods, a few drops in the toilet bowl can look like you've been like slit open or something. So it looks more, but it did look like quite a lot. But the thing with it was that it was bright red. She said, which is a better indication that it's in the lower bowel. So if it was dark, tarry blood, then that's quite a bad indication. Or needs like very prompt medical examination. So she took my bloods and she phoned up a few days later and said all my bloods were fine, my iron levels were spot on, because that's an indication of bowel cancer, one of them, because you become anemic. But everything was fine. But she needed to sort of put me through on a 2-week, kind of rush me through for a colonoscopy. Well, sorting that out was a difficult part. They kept ringing me, I kept missing the call, I kept ringing back, then I couldn't get through to them, and it was all very stressful. So anyway, eventually I did get through, and they've made me an appointment. I'm really terrible at documenting, but I've just had a block of tofu marinated in soy sauce and air fried, and some mashed potato that I made last night, and it was actually really nice. I had a little bit of Vio Life cream cheese as well, which you're allowed to have, and it was just very, very nice. I'm really, really liking these simple foods. And then earlier on I was so hungry, so I bought a white baguette, just like a small baguette, and ate it all with some cream cheese. So I've had quite a lot, really. And tomorrow is the dreaded, I have my breakfast before 9:30, and then it's the dreaded no eat day. Yeah, so I've been absolutely rubbish at documenting what I've been eating. So this is the morning of the day before, and what I'm having is I'm having a glass of apple juice, clear apple juice, no bits, and I'm going to have some soya yogurt. And I don't said that I cooked up some rice and didn't realise that it was sweet, like pudding rice, and I only cooked it up like normal rice, just in water, so I didn't realise that it would taste so nice. When like years ago my mum would make a massive big dish of like sweet pudding rice and make it with milk, full milk and cream, and then you'd put it in the oven, you'd get that skim on the top. It would take about 10 hours to cook, and you'd get that lovely thick skim of milk on the top. And she would make that for our dessert because there was like 7 of us, and it was divine. And so I just made this with water, and it tastes exactly the same. I just put a little bit of soya milk in at the end and put some low-fat maple syrup stuff. So that was really nice. So that's what I've got here. So I've got the leftovers of that. I've heated it up slightly, and I'm going to put some soya yogurt on top. I've just got some of that. I mean, health-wise, God knows what's in it. But this is low fat anyway. In fact, there's no calories in. How do they work that out? I have no idea. It tastes really, really sweet. So a nice little glug of that on top. So that's going to be my breakfast. It is 8:29, so I've got to finish that by 9 a.m. And then today I'm just going to die of starvation. Actually, I feel really guilty for saying that. I'll take that back. Of course, I'm not going to die of starvation. There's people that haven't eaten for days and days and days. This is just like 24 hours for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Take it back, take it back. My food is gone. My hair is crazy. I'm just in my onesie, my oodle, and I don't really have much motivation to do anything. I'm drinking lots of water because that's what's requested. And I've just been busying myself with playing the guitar a little bit and hunting around for my capo, which I did find, and it was in the right place. I looked everywhere but the right place. I'm not hungry because I've just eaten, but because I know that I'm not going to be able to eat, I'm starting to feel hungry psychologically. I've set up the spare bedroom because hopefully I will get some sleep, but I might be interrupted with having to go to the toilet. So I've gone into the spare bed. I'm going to go into the spare bedroom so I don't disturb my husband, because I need him to be not tired tomorrow to look after me. So yeah, it's very strange though. Still here in my oodle. I've decided I'm going to make some, I'm just cleaning everything. Decided I'm going to make some carrot and potato soup for me to have tomorrow after the procedure. I've got some leftover carrots and some potatoes, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know about anybody else, but I never peel my vegetables. I just give them a good scrub because, you know, the goodness is in the skin, and why waste? I mean, we put things in the composter so it doesn't really go to waste, but you know, it's good to just give them a good scrub and get all the nasty pesticides or whatever off. We've got a bit of celery to use up and chopped onions, potatoes and carrots, a little bit of ground cumin and a little bit of ground coriander, and season to taste. I've put a little bit of olive oil in my pan, and I'm going to fry the onions and the celery. Am I stupid for doing this on a no-eat day? Put a touch of cumin in and a touch of coriander, just with a little splash of bouillon. It's very salty, like I've said before, so I tend to not have any salt, added salt. I put about 3/4 of a pint of boiling water in there with the bouillon, and you probably need more to cover the, oh, I don't know, it's covering quite well. If you need more, put some more in, and just let that come to a boil and then simmer for about 20 minutes or just until the veg is tender. I put a little bit of turmeric in because it makes it a really nice colour, but also it's fantastic for inflammation. But make sure you have black pepper with it for digesting the turmeric. I'm so hungry. I went to bed and I didn't sleep, and now I'm mixing this up to take at 5 p.m. So just mixing it with lukewarm water, a litre. Let me just check if that's okay. Yeah, lukewarm. Okay. Okay, so that's a litre of water. You have to mix it until it's fully dissolved. It actually dissolves really easily. Apparently it's best to leave it in the fridge, covered. Leave it in the fridge. I don't know what this is going to taste like. I've read that it's disgusting. I've tasted much worse. It's now the morning, 5:30. I've started taking my second dose. Last night I went to the toilet about 5 times. nothing spectacular, and that was it. I ended up going to bed at 11 o'clock. Or did I go? No, I went to bed at 9 o'clock. I couldn't get to sleep because I was hungry, and also I kept thinking that I was going to go to the toilet, so I didn't want to drop off to sleep and be woke up. But it started to become apparent that I wasn't going to go anymore. So I wouldn't really say that I did that much. Anyway, I've slept till my alarm went off at 5, and now I'm on my second dose. I keep coming over quite hot. I'm shaking. No, I look quite red. I know this is a funny light, but the second dose is harder to swallow because it tastes nasty after you've got all that stuff in your stomach. I've been through worse, like I say. It's not a terrible, it's just a bit of a chew on, and it's thick. Chew on. It is thick and artificial tasting and a bit slimy when it goes down. It's like the texture. But yeah, it's not as bad as like some of the comments make on the videos. But you don't think a litre is very much until you have to drink something of a litre that is very nice. I've been to the toilet twice. I'm struggling to get this last glass down. I've got some stomach cramps as well, so I've had to sit up, stand up, and oh, I feel full of fluid. I'm ready. Oh my goodness, what a weird experience. I'm now out and I'm eating a vegan cheese sandwich. I can only eat it very slow. So I went in and she kind of talked me into having the sedation. I felt a little bit scared to not have it because she said it could be painful. I've been feeling so delicate. I felt so delicate after all of that Moviprep, the laxative drink this morning. I was freezing cold and I was shaking. So it came in. I can't vlog when there's people around. Came in and she took my consent and said, sort of talked me into having the sedation. So I did have it, and then I put a gown on with some funny shorts that had like a opening in the back, and was like taken to the room, and there was the endoscopist and 2 nurses. One of the nurses was assisting him, and then another nurse was kind of putting the oxygen tube and just like, you know, making sure I was okay and everything. And yeah, so basically he inserted his finger to start with, quite roughly, and I was like, whoa, this is the shape of things to come. But I didn't feel the camera going in or anything. The sedation started to work, and because I'm so tired, I was really, really sleepy. I could have just gone to sleep. So you've got to lie on your side first with your legs sort of bent a little bit, and then they insert the camera, and you can see it on the TV. It's amazing. And basically what they've found is they've removed 3 polyps. He gave me the good news that there was no cancer, and oh, my stomach's rumbling like mad. So my husband has called into Wickes after picking me up, and he's going to get a burger from the burger bar while I'm having my sandwich. Yeah, so you lie on your side, and I can't remember what I was saying now. You lie on your side, and then he asks you to lie on your back, so it must go up in a different direction. He blows air into your bowels, which can feel really strange. I did get a bit of a tummy pain, more like sort of stomach cramps. I'm having to like hold myself. Oh, my stomach's making such funny noises. This is a little bit uncomfortable. I think it's sort of like trapped wind a little bit. So yes, it's not cancerous, but they removed 3 small polyps, and there's a big polyp that they have to remove, but they can't do it here in Bridgewater. I've got to go to Taunton to have it removed, so I've got to go through all that again. That awful stuff
drinking that stuff. Honestly, it's vile. But at least I know now. I know what to expect, and seriously, it wasn't bad. It is the drinking the stuff, really. Even going to the toilet, I only went to the toilet I think 13 times, and it was no way violent or anything. I just sat on the toilet and it was just as if like wee was coming out, really. I don't feel like I had it much in there, which I think is quite good. So yes, so I've got diverticulitis disease, but it's not inflamed. They're not worried about it. I just have to be careful that it doesn't become inflamed. I know it's my eating habits. My eating habits are terrible. I eat far too much food, so that's going to change. It's going to have to change. So yeah, I've got to get this flipping thing done again before the 24th of March. But really, seriously, anybody else who's going for it, I know everyone's different, but I wouldn't say it was bad. It's just a little bit uncomfortable, and there's no embarrassment there or anything. You know, they've seen it all before, and yeah, it was fine. It was fine. So I think some tips and hints would be mix up the solution and keep it in the fridge. It's more palatable when it's cold than when it's warm. You've got to make it warm because it has to dissolve in the warm water. I would say don't eat too much food on your 3-day low residue diet, because all of that's got to come out, because it's very difficult to go to the toilet naturally when you're just on carbs, basically. You know, there's no roughage, there's no fibre, because obviously that's what the diet is. So it's quite hard. I didn't go the last day naturally. So yeah, just keep it quite low. You can still get some dense, you know, some calories in there, but just don't eat loads and loads of food. What else? And that's it really. Just, you know, just sip at the laxatives over a course of, well, I took an hour, I think, to drink a litre. If you drink it too fast, I think it can make you feel quite sick. You do get a bit nauseous because you've got all that floating around in your belly, and you're hungry as well, so it's just fluid rather than any food. So that, I had waves of nausea, but nothing really bad. It's just a delicate thing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's horrendous. It's invasive and, you know, things like that, but it's not as bad as I expected. And when I go for my next one, I'll not be nervous, I don't think. And I wanted to make this video because I personally looked for videos before I went for mine, and I wanted to see if there was anything. So yeah, I hope this helps somebody who's nervous maybe, and going to go for one. Yeah, you can do it. It's not so bad.